Creating an inclusive employer brand to attract a diverse candidate pool. In today's dynamic and interconnected world, diversity and inclusion have become more than just buzzwords. They're essential elements of any thriving workplace. A diverse workforce brings a wealth of perspectives, experiences, and talents, driving innovation, creativity, and ultimately, business success. However, fostering diversity begins long before the hiring process. It starts with crafting an inclusive employer brand that resonates with a diverse audience and attracts a broad spectrum of candidates. Here, we delve into the art of creating an inclusive employer brand to cultivate a vibrant and diverse talent pool. Understanding the power of inclusivity. Before delving into the mechanics of crafting an inclusive employer brand, it's crucial to understand why inclusivity matters. An inclusive workplace not only promotes fairness and equality, but also encourages collaboration, empathy, and respect among employees. When individuals from diverse backgrounds feel valued and included, they're more likely to contribute their unique perspectives and talents, driving innovation and problem-solving within the organization. Moreover, an inclusive employer brand signals to potential candidates that the company values diversity, making it an attractive destination for top talent from all walks of life. Reflecting authenticity. Authenticity lies at the heart of every successful employer brand. Candidates can discern when a company's commitment to diversity is genuine and when it's merely lip service. Therefore, it's essential to align your employer brand with your organization's values, culture, and actions. Showcase real stories and testimonials from employees representing various backgrounds to illustrate your commitment to diversity and inclusion. Highlight initiatives, such as employee resource groups, mentorship programs, or diversity training that demonstrate tangible efforts to create an inclusive workplace culture. Authenticity breeds trust, and trust is the foundation of any lasting employer-employee relationship. Cultivating inclusive language. Language shapes perceptions and influences behavior. In crafting your employer brand messaging, pay careful attention to the language you use. Avoid jargon, acronyms, or culturally insensitive terminology that may alienate certain groups. Instead, opt for inclusive language that welcomes individuals from diverse backgrounds. Use gender-neutral pronouns and avoid assumptions about marital status, family structure, or personal preferences. Your goal is to create a welcoming and inclusive environment where everyone feels respected and valued for who they are. Showcasing diversity in visuals. Visual imagery plays a powerful role in shaping perceptions and conveying messages. When developing marketing materials, website content, or social media posts for your employer brand, ensure that your visuals reflect diversity. Use images that feature employees from different ethnicities, genders, ages, abilities, and backgrounds engaging in various workplace activities. Representation matters, and seeing people who look like them in your promotional materials can help candidates from underrepresented groups feel seen and valued. Aim for authenticity and diversity in your visual storytelling to convey a genuine commitment to inclusivity. Creating inclusive job descriptions. Job descriptions serve as the first point of contact between your company and potential candidates. Therefore, it's crucial to ensure that they're inclusive and free from biases. Avoid using gender-coded language or superlatives that may inadvertently deter certain demographics from applying. Focus on essential job requirements and qualifications while remaining open to candidates with diverse backgrounds and experiences. Emphasize your commitment to diversity and inclusion within the job description itself, inviting candidates from all walks of life to apply and contribute their unique perspectives to your organization. Fostering diversity in recruitment. Recruitment is the lifeblood of any inclusive employer brand. To attract a diverse candidate pool, you must cast a wide net and actively seek out talent from underrepresented groups. Partner with diversity-focused organizations, attend job fairs targeted at minority groups, and leverage social media platforms to reach a broad audience. Encourage employee referrals and incentivize diversity hiring initiatives to tap into existing networks and communities. By proactively seeking out diverse talent, you demonstrate your commitment to building a workforce that reflects the rich tapestry of human experience. Prioritizing diversity in hiring practices. Inclusive hiring practices extend beyond sourcing candidates. They encompass every stage of the hiring process. Train recruiters and hiring managers on unconscious bias awareness to mitigate the influence of implicit prejudices during candidate evaluation. Implement structured interview processes that focus on assessing candidates' skills, experiences, and potential fit with the company culture, rather than subjective criteria. Consider implementing blind recruitment techniques, such as removing identifying information from resumes, to ensure fair and equitable evaluation. By prioritizing diversity in your hiring practices, you create a level playing field where all candidates have an equal opportunity to succeed. Promoting inclusive onboarding. The onboarding process sets the tone for an employee's experience within your organization. Make sure it reflects your commitment to diversity and inclusion from day one. Provide cultural sensitivity training to new hires to foster awareness and understanding of different backgrounds and perspectives. Pair them with mentors or buddies who can offer support and guidance as they navigate their new role and workplace environment. Create inclusive spaces and forums where employees can share their experiences, ask questions, and connect with colleagues from diverse backgrounds. By promoting inclusivity during the onboarding process, you lay the foundation for a supportive and collaborative work culture. Nurturing an inclusive work environment. Building an inclusive employer brand doesn't end with the hiring process. It's an ongoing commitment to nurturing a culture of belonging and respect. Encourage open communication and feedback, and actively listen to the voices of your employees, especially those from underrepresented groups. Invest in diversity training and development programs to foster cultural competence and empathy among all staff members. Celebrate diversity through cultural events, heritage months, or affinity group gatherings that recognize and honor the contributions of different communities. By fostering an inclusive work environment, you empower employees to bring their authentic selves to work and unleash their full potential. Measuring and iterating. As with any aspect of business, measuring progress is essential for continuous improvement. Establish key performance indicators, KPIs, to track the effectiveness of your diversity and inclusion initiatives. Monitor metrics such as diversity representation, employee engagement, retention rates, and promotion rates to gauge the impact of your efforts. Solicit feedback from employees through surveys, focus groups, or one-on-one conversations to gain insights into their experiences and identify areas for improvement. Use data-driven insights to iterate and refine your strategies, ensuring that your inclusive employer brand remains relevant and impactful in the ever-evolving landscape of work. Engaging leadership support. True organizational change begins at the top. Engage senior leadership in championing diversity and inclusion initiatives, emphasizing the business case for diversity and its impact on innovation, employee engagement, and bottom-line results. Leaders should lead by example, demonstrating their commitment to diversity through their actions, decisions, and communication. Establish diversity and inclusion goals aligned with broader business objectives and hold leaders accountable for progress toward those goals. When leadership prioritizes diversity and inclusion, it sends a powerful message throughout the organization that these values are integral to its identity and success. Building strategic partnerships. No organization exists in a vacuum. Building strategic partnerships with external organizations, such as diversity advocacy groups, professional associations, or educational institutions, can broaden your talent pipeline and enhance your employer brand's appeal to diverse candidates. Collaborate with these partners to identify opportunities for talent development, mentorship, or community engagement initiatives that align with your diversity and inclusion goals. By leveraging external networks and resources, you can tap into talent pools that may have been previously untapped and strengthen your reputation as an employer of choice for diverse candidates. Empowering employee advocacy. Your employees are your greatest ambassadors. Empower them to be advocates for diversity and inclusion both within the organization and beyond its walls. Encourage employees to share their experiences, insights, and perspectives through internal communication channels, social media platforms, or community events. Provide training and resources to help employees become effective allies and champions of diversity, equipping them with the knowledge and skills to foster inclusion in their day-to-day interactions. Recognize and celebrate employees who demonstrate a commitment to diversity and inclusion, reinforcing the importance of these values in your organizational culture. Addressing intersectionality. Diversity is not a monolithic concept. It encompasses a myriad of dimensions, including race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, age, disability, socioeconomic status, and more. Recognize the intersectionality of identities and experiences within your workforce and tailor your diversity and inclusion initiatives accordingly. Take an intersectional approach to recruitment, retention, and advancement, considering how different aspects of individuals' identities intersect and impact their experiences within the organization. Create spaces and resources that cater to the unique needs and perspectives of employees with intersecting identities, ensuring that no one feels marginalized or overlooked. Challenging bias and microaggressions. Even in the most well-intentioned organizations, bias and microaggressions can manifest in subtle ways that undermine diversity and inclusion efforts. Create a culture of accountability where employees are encouraged to challenge bias and address microaggressions when they occur. Provide training and resources on recognizing unconscious bias, interrupting microaggressions, and fostering inclusive communication and behavior. Establish clear protocols for reporting and addressing incidents of bias or discrimination, ensuring that employees feel safe and supported in speaking up. By actively confronting bias and microaggressions, you create a more equitable and inclusive workplace where all employees can thrive. Promoting career advancement opportunities. Inclusive employer branding goes beyond attracting diverse talent. It also involves providing opportunities for career advancement and development. Implement policies and practices that support the professional growth and progression of all employees, regardless of their background. Offer mentorship programs, leadership development initiatives, and networking opportunities that empower employees to reach their full potential. Ensure that promotion and advancement processes are transparent, fair, and free from bias, allowing individuals from underrepresented groups to excel based on their skills and contributions. By investing in the career advancement of all employees, you demonstrate your commitment to building a diverse and inclusive workforce for the long term. Embracing flexibility and accessibility. One size does not fit all when it comes to accommodating the diverse needs and preferences of employees. Embrace flexibility and accessibility in your workplace policies and practices to accommodate the diverse needs of your workforce. Offer flexible work arrangements, such as remote work options or alternative schedules, to accommodate employees' caregiving responsibilities, disabilities, or other personal circumstances. Ensure that physical workspaces are accessible to individuals with disabilities and provide accommodations as needed to support their full participation and inclusion. By embracing flexibility and accessibility, you create a more inclusive environment where all employees can thrive and contribute their best work. Continuing the journey. Creating an inclusive employer brand is not a one-time endeavor, but an ongoing journey of learning, growth, and evolution. Stay attuned to emerging trends, best practices, and evolving societal norms related to diversity and inclusion, adapting your strategies and initiatives accordingly. Solicit feedback from employees, candidates, and external stakeholders to gain insights into their experiences and perceptions of your employer brand. Be willing to course-correct and iterate on your efforts as needed to ensure that your organization remains at the forefront of diversity and inclusion leadership. By committing to continuous improvement, you can cultivate a workplace where every individual feels valued, respected, and empowered to succeed. Continuing the journey. Creating an inclusive employer brand is not a one-time endeavor, but an ongoing journey of learning, growth, and evolution. Stay attuned to emerging trends, best practices, and evolving societal norms related to diversity and inclusion, adapting your strategies and initiatives accordingly. Solicit feedback from employees, candidates, and external stakeholders to gain insights into their experiences and perceptions of your employer brand. Be willing to course-correct and iterate on your efforts as needed to ensure that your organization remains at the forefront of diversity and inclusion leadership. By committing to continuous improvement, you can cultivate a workplace where every individual feels valued, respected, and empowered to succeed. Embracing intersectionality. In the pursuit of diversity and inclusion, it's crucial to recognize the intersectionality of individuals' identities and experiences. Intersectionality acknowledges that people may face multiple forms of discrimination or privilege based on factors such as race, gender, sexuality, disability, and socioeconomic status. When crafting your employer brand, consider the unique challenges and opportunities that arise from intersecting identities. Ensure that your diversity initiatives are inclusive and equitable for all employees, regardless of their background or circumstances. By embracing intersectionality, you create a more nuanced and holistic approach to diversity and inclusion that resonates with a broader range of candidates and employees. Empowering employee advocacy. Your employees are your best ambassadors for promoting an inclusive employer brand. Empower them to become advocates for diversity and inclusion both within the organization and in their communities. Provide opportunities for employees to participate in diversity initiatives, volunteer programs, or community outreach efforts that align with your company's values. Encourage them to share their experiences and perspectives on social media, company blogs, or industry events to amplify your employer brand's message of inclusivity. By fostering a culture of employee advocacy, you leverage the collective influence and credibility of your workforce to attract diverse talent and drive positive change. Addressing unconscious bias. Unconscious bias can undermine even the most well-intentioned efforts to foster diversity and inclusion. These implicit biases, which stem from deeply ingrained stereotypes or prejudices, can influence decision-making processes at every stage of the employee lifecycle, from recruitment to performance evaluations. Combating unconscious bias requires awareness, education, and proactive measures. Offer unconscious bias training to all employees, including recruiters, hiring managers, and senior leaders, to raise awareness of the ways bias can manifest and its impact on decision-making. Implement strategies such as blind recruitment, diverse interview panels, and structured performance reviews to mitigate the influence of unconscious bias and promote fair and equitable treatment for all employees. Embracing flexibility and accessibility. Inclusivity extends beyond traditional notions of diversity to encompass factors such as flexibility and accessibility. Recognize that employees have diverse needs and preferences when it comes to work arrangements, schedules, and accommodations. Offer flexible work options such as remote work, flexible hours, or compressed work weeks to accommodate employees' diverse lifestyles and responsibilities. Ensure that your physical workspace is accessible to individuals with disabilities by providing accommodations such as wheelchair ramps, ergonomic furniture, or assistive technologies. By embracing flexibility and accessibility, you create an environment where all employees can thrive, regardless of their unique circumstances or needs. Cultivating allyship and advocacy. Building an inclusive employer brand requires the active participation of everyone in the organization, not just members of underrepresented groups. Cultivate allyship among employees by promoting empathy, solidarity, and active support for colleagues from diverse backgrounds. Encourage individuals to educate themselves on issues of diversity and inclusion, engage in difficult conversations, and take meaningful action to advocate for change. Provide resources and training on allyship and bystander intervention to empower employees to speak up against discrimination or microaggressions when they occur. By fostering a culture of allyship and advocacy, you create a sense of belonging and solidarity that strengthens your employer brand and fosters a more inclusive workplace culture. Emphasizing continuous learning and growth. Diversity and inclusion are not static goals to be achieved, but ongoing journeys of learning and growth. Emphasize the importance of continuous education and self-reflection on issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion for all employees. Offer opportunities for professional development, workshops, and training programs that address topics such as unconscious bias, cultural competence, and inclusive leadership. Encourage employees to seek out diverse perspectives, challenge their assumptions, and broaden their understanding of different cultures and experiences. By prioritizing continuous learning and growth, you foster a culture of curiosity, empathy, and resilience that strengthens your organization's capacity for innovation and adaptation in an ever-changing world. Celebrating diversity and inclusion. Finally, celebrate the diversity and inclusion that enriches your organization's culture and community. Recognize and honor the contributions of employees from all backgrounds through awards, recognition programs, and cultural celebrations. Create opportunities for employees to share their heritage, traditions, and stories with their colleagues through events, workshops, or employee resource groups. By celebrating diversity and inclusion, you reinforce your organization's commitment to creating a welcoming and supportive environment where everyone can thrive and succeed. In conclusion, crafting an inclusive employer brand requires a multifaceted approach that encompasses authenticity, language, visuals, recruitment, hiring practices, onboarding, workplace culture, and continuous improvement. By embracing diversity, fostering inclusivity, and empowering employees to become advocates for change, you can attract a diverse candidate pool and cultivate a vibrant and inclusive workforce that drives innovation, creativity, and success. Together, let's build a future where every individual feels valued, respected, and empowered to reach their full potential, regardless of their background or identity.